So my name's Mark Stern. I'm VP of Business Intelligence Analytics at a company called BetMGM, which is an online casino and sports betting company. I have been leading teams and BI and analytics teams for over 18 years in this sector. Prior to that, was in logistics and pharmaceuticals. But I have built four teams that hopefully excel in this area, and driven them through both mergers and acquisition, as well as just developing them into becoming excellent teams. My first topic is the mitigate against team aside, key attribute of a team, and what a leader has to do, and master the team ego and the inner game. So putting a set of smart people into a room does not mean that they'll be able to work together. And ultimately, when you've got to put a set of smart people in a room, something like IQ doesn't tell you anything about who's the smartest. There are many other things, and the bar of smart isn't particularly high in terms of IQ wise. But there are other things that are important. And so when leading teams, there are some critical hygiene factors that I use, and we talk about team aside to prevent team implosion. But some of those things are things like defensive management, bureaucracy, fragmentation of people's time, and imposing phony deadlines. All those things help to implode teams and make them fractured. So those are things to avoid. And then the other thing is a focus on the inner game of people, and focus on the performance triangle. And so in my head, I have a triangle. I kind of have an image of a triangle, a bit like to the right, and that has at the top it has performance, at the right it has enjoyment, and the other side it has learning. And the objective is to keep that as an equilateral triangle all the time, all sides equal. When you're more driven towards performance, you get stress and burnout. Too much enjoyment, everybody's always on holiday. Too much learning, no one actually applies what they do. So it's important that all three are in balance. Okay, my second point is that we use a team of data roadies to prevent bad data processes driving bad decisions. So these are key people in the data team. They focus on data and data integrity and data tech integrity. They ensure that everything is well maintained and running. They ensure the BI analytics processes are built in. So the demand processes. If you've ever worked in an analytics team, you realize there's never a shortage of work. It's constantly flowing. How do you prioritize that? How do you govern that? And then focus on ensuring business process changes are captured in the data correctly. It's not uncommon that people go live with new functions on the website, new types of transactions, and they come to you and say, look, how many people are using this? And suddenly you look in the data, and actually there is no record of that new function in the data. No one's actually bothered as part of the product design to actually ensure that the data is tagged correctly and it flows through to the analytical systems. And so these are the key things that these people who are around data help drive and lead the whole team, not only the BI analytics teams, but also the business teams that use the data to understand what's important and ensure that things are done so we can actually understand, measure, and analyze what's important to us. The third thing is foster a self-service culture to avoid becoming a victim of your own data success. Look, it's simply not practical for a team of analysts to evolve in supporting every single request that comes through the business, every single problem. Yeah, these people are not that easy to come by. Good people are not easy to come by who understand how to use data, interpret it, use statistical techniques, use AI techniques. So you have to use them wisely. You have to educate your business users to understand the data, how to interpret it and use statistics. And you have to find tools that make it easier for them to consume and grab themselves. So we spend a lot of time selecting the right self-service portals, understanding who's using it, who's not using it, how they're using it. And there's a whole lot of things from pure dashboards or pure reports up to now we build applications that are embedded into business processes. how do you surface predictive analytics and get them used into the piece? You have semantic layers, when how do you explore data without the use of SQL or other coding, so you can get business users using it, and even conversational AI is starting to play a part. How do you ask questions of your data through conversational AI and get reliable responses back? So all these things and LLM models are starting to change how data is consumed. My next point is that the use of tech to maximize data team capacity and impact. Um, Statistical techniques have been around a lot longer than most technology, and AI is not particularly new. It's been around many years, and what's enabled it to become more commonplace in businesses is the technology has caught up, the speed of processing, and so on. And so now we can build hundreds of AI models in a matter of minutes around a problem. That's not our issue anymore. So how do we harness that? And the aim of the data team is to easily be able to access and work with data to drive insight that drives value to the business. You want to automate the data prep as much as possible. So not every analyst is having to do the same preparation every time they want to do the work, or each day they want to do the work. So the automation, cleaning the data, bringing it in, transforming it into something meaningful that's for the business, and joining it with different sources, or helps if that is automated. And so I talk about this is actually you can do a number of things. If you've got an analytics team that have to go back to the well every time they need to answer a business question, the time to answer it just gets elongated out to a point where actually it's no longer useful to the person who asked for it. And so actually you end up with a data team who fails that. You have to have your data readily packed, bottled as I called it, so it's ready to go in order to answer questions. You do not know which questions you're going to be answered tomorrow. So you have to bring as much data in as possible and bring it in a place and start bottling it. And there'll be important questions answered next, being asked next week, that you wouldn't even thought of all of today. And so all of that helps when you've got your data prepared, organized, and ready, available for the analyst to start using their skills and their weapons to start accessing that data and answering the complex questions. Finally, we have don't over engineer the data team and search out hidden data talents. So a picture I love is on the right is actually a potato peeler, and it's built by Heath Robinson, the crazy contraptions, overcomplicated contractions. And this is not unusual for analysts to do this. They get sucked in, or data scientists, into a problem. They lose sight of what's practical, what's really needed. And so don't over engineer the data team and think about its mix. And look, depending on the maturity of the organization, it will change a lot. But your analysts, your commercially savvy analysts who are who understand the business as well as understanding the data and statistics really well, who want to drive the business forward, we should be recommending and help leading the business, are really critical people. And roughly about 40% of your team would suggest was around there. Then you've got engineers, 30% engineers, people who are doing that data prep, bringing in all data sources ready for the analysts and data scientists to use. Then you've got 20% data scientists, and these are the people who build models. They do more in depth, probably detailed analysis to build the model and help deploy the model. And then you've got the data roadies. They're on the coal face, identifying the data challenges, managing the demand, ensuring our tech and our data quality is understood, and we're driving towards improving the hygiene factors and the foundation. So hopefully that gives you, those are my 5 key tips, as it were, and how to build a great data team. I hope that's been helpful and useful. Thank you everybody for joining my session. Now I'll open the floor for questions.